Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Hope you're having a good one. This is Matt with ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel, and this is yet another episode of Mattitude, your ESC United live stream, where we talked about, you guessed it right, Eurovision. That's the only thing I am good at. And even that is questionable. But nevertheless, I hope you're having a wonderful Friday, right? Are we on a Friday? It's like when you do all of this all week. This is day 8 for me, I think. You lose track of time, but I'm pretty sure today is Friday. So it was another day and another day of rehearsals, a slightly shorter day than what we usually get, kind of like tomorrow, but it'll be still fun regardless. So I am here to walk you through some of the stuff that happened today and of course, hear your opinions, your thoughts. And I know it's going to be a little bit more laid back today. As you can see right now, it is only me because we jumped on this live stream a little early because the clip for the semi-2 participants who rehearsed today already dropped. So there's no time to waste, right? We want to talk about this ASAP. And since I'm here sitting pretty at home, or just at home, not the pretty part, may as well talk about it. And I see so many people in the chat already. And I will answer as many questions as possible since, it's going to be a little bit more laid back today. Make sure you take the sides of Sweden in and say hi to ESC Gabe for me. Faith, I am not going to Sweden, unfortunately, this time around. I've been to Malmö, though, in 2013, so I've known the city. But I will say hi to Gabe anyway, because, we talk all the time. I will be doing remote coverage, but we already have several people in Malmö, including Roy, Gabe, David. Melanie is still on the train, I think, as we speak. And Emma is going, and Alistair is going, and I'm sure I'm forgetting someone, so don't take offense. I'm trying to remember everything. So I am actually really excited because, as said, we had 7 acts, I think, rehearsing today. The 7 last acts of semifinal 2 had their second rehearsal today. That means we get the 30-second snippets that they put out there for us to see, and the clips are up. I've only seen one. I know that some of the broadcasters have put out some of the rehearsals already. The only one I have seen was San Marino, which will be ironically the first one to we're going to discuss today. And as not as always, but we've done it in the first round, you will have a say. Who had the best rehearsals of semi-2? Best is subjective. Anything is subjective, especially this one, though, only because we only have 30-second snippets to go by, as well as a bunch of pictures. So this is all, of course, tentative. So you will vote for the ones that left the best impression today as well on you in our polls that I will put up in just a moment so that we will create the official ESC United ranking. And so get ready and let me know what your thoughts are as well. I will actually share my thoughts, of course, as I'm watching them. I'm going to put them on screen in just a moment, and then I will hear from you. In case you haven't seen the last video, I'm going to spoil for you who won the viewers poll, if you will, and that is Portugal. Portugal was, according to you, had the most surprising, most impressive rehearsal, according to what you saw. It was a close race. Ukraine was right behind them, and not too far off was Ireland and Croatia. So those were your top four. Unfortunately, that means someone had to come last as well, which in this case was Iceland, coming last in your ranking. So that is certainly, kind of how it goes. Keep in mind, this doesn't mean that these are your favorite or least favorite songs. It's just based on the clip. So before we jump into it, as always, I said it before just a second ago, when you want to talk to us, at ESC United, so I know that you are talking to us. And I will actually slowly, because I do have one colleague coming in, and I was hoping he would be here soon, and he is. Let me bring in Philip. Good day, mate. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I am doing great. I was just about to jump actually into the clips for today, so you got here just in time. How do you say how are you in Danish?
Hvordan har du det?
Yeah, never mind. Bahen.
Yeah.
Bahen, say one more time.
Hvordan har du det?
Hvordan har du det?
That's almost right.
All right.
I'm also doing it in very, very like clean step-by-step Danish. If it was more fluent, it would be even more clumsy.
Okay, no, that is okay. I'm really bad with languages. I can barely manage my German and English. So yeah, anything besides that, that's not going to work. So real quick, because you always have to answer the Danish question. You weren't here yesterday. What did you think about the Danish clip?
I'm hopeful. As a Dane, I need some way of being hopeful of Denmark actually doing something of importance in Eurovision at all. But I'm feeling more positive than I did after the national final. I'm feeling okay about our chances.
I know it's been too long, huh? Since
Mm-hmm.
you haven't seen the finals, the post-pandemic era, so it's time for you to return to your former glory, and we'll see. And who was yesterday? Not even your favorite song, but the rehearsal that really impressed you. Whether it's the Big Five or the semi-2, both of them. Like first the semi-2 first half. Was the one that really impressed you based on the camera work?
Yeah, I'm saying Ukraine, but that's kind of like
that was even before. I'm talking about semi-final 2. Yeah.
Okay, semi-2. Well, I like Estonia, so Estonia will do whatever they like, and I'm totally fine with it. So Estonia is probably my pick then.
Who from the Big Five and the direct qualifiers of the clips that you saw, TikToks and the pictures, really left a mark on you? Like you were impressed?
Positively?
Positively, yes.
Okay. I think Italy maybe, but I was also kind of positive on the song before that, and I think it translated quite well. I know it's quite short, but I only watched all these like one time, and then I was like, okay, we'll talk about it later. So
yeah.
So I'm kind of waiting on the second clip. So I think I'll say Italy for now.
Okay. No, that's cool. And yeah, we'll talk plenty. So that's not going to be a lack of communication here. I think y'all in the chat as well, get ready to vote in just a moment. But we are going through the 7 songs that rehearsed today and then share our thoughts. And of course, you get to vote in the poll. Have you seen anything on social media yet, Philip? Any clips?
I've quickly skipped the Georgian one, but I didn't want to see it. I wanted to have the surprise moment on here, but I have seen like the beginning of the Georgian one.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sean, for becoming a member here on ESC United on the YouTube channel. Any contribution that certainly helps us to survive here, because it is not cheap going to Eurovision. One of the reasons why I'm not going this year, because unfortunately. And so I have seen the San Marino clip. I haven't seen anything else. So I think we should jump right into it, because San Marino is the first one. So I'm going to share my screen in just a moment. So hold on tight. Actually, let me also bring down the quality, because when I share it like with higher quality, it tends to be kind of choppy on the live stream, so I'm bringing it down a little. So
are we doing the entire thing or just
no,
one at a time?
one at a time. One
Okay.
at a time. So I'll pause it after this San Marino. I want to go to you first, Philip. What do you think?
I'll start by saying that it's very choppy on my side, so I had a hard time actually seeing it, and I'm seeing the comments saying the same thing. So maybe
I'm going to lower the quality even more, then see if that's going to help.
Yeah.
Maybe I should play it again. Quality. It's already down to 360. It looks fine on my end, but you know how it goes. So let me try again. I've got to share again. All right, hang on. Still choppy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. Usually it's
wait. It kind of worked just before you paused it, actually. I'm kind of getting a feel of it.
Was it better?
Yeah. It paused a few times, but it was better.
Okay.
I at least got the feel of it this time.
Yeah. So y'all, I'm gonna refresh my screen real quick, the software, and see if that will help with the actual sharing. So I'll be maybe gone for 5 to 10 seconds. So don't go anywhere.
Now it's just me. How everyone feeling tonight?
There we go. All right, let's try this again. So San Marino's breaking the internet. That's basically what I'm thinking here. So let's try this one more time. I'm not sure why it wouldn't work today. Work so well. Maybe if I make the screen smaller. Let me try just one more time. And if that doesn't work, I'm making the screen smaller. Maybe that'll help.
I'll pause you. There is no sound.
Oh, that's because I shared the wrong screen. Oh, the sound is not.
But it looked more fluent this time. It looked more, yeah.
All right, let's try one more time. Okay, now I'll go ahead, Philip. What are your thoughts?
It's kind of fun. I like her very expressive emotions in the beginning. I love the camera shot of her sitting down. It's giving me a bit of a horror vibe, actually. Yeah, it's good. I'm just not as certain about their chances, but that's a whole nother story. I actually kind of like the camera work in this one.
Okay, well, that's good. So I'm actually borderline or like low-key obsessed with this staging. I thought it was so cool. I mean, that's the beginning of the song, right? No matter what you think about the song, it's like it starts like this very unexpected, like calm and like la la, like in a fairy tale. It's like crazy, like twisted Dorothy Wizard of Oz feel. Like I'm just like, where am I? And then you even see one like almost looks like a brick road, but all purpley and black in the back. It has like that feel to it. And then she's like, oh, what is this? And it's just like a wake up call. Like this is how you start a song, like immediately capturing our attention. So I really, really loved it. I love the colors, and it's immediately sucks in like attention. You cannot like be like to get distracted, and that is so important.
they kept the color scheme from the national final, and the way they dress. It looks very good. I still feel like I don't know if the beginning is meant to be scary or like enticing, but it kind of gets me. It gets me from the start, and that's of course very positive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I am quite impressed with what I saw here. And yes, we can talk about qualification chances, but what we're especially talking about is what are they doing with the staging? Is it elevating the song? Is it just kind of meh, or is it actually downgrading, that kind of stuff? So I think just looking at what we saw, the first 30 seconds of the performance, which I love that we get that, I think this is an immediate like, let's pay attention. I personally think actually people sleeping a little bit on the song. I do think that it has its market. There's always like the rock metal fans, whatever you want to call them, that tend to now be overlooked, and then one of those songs go through. So I could see this one actually making it. Yes, San Marino doesn't necessarily have the standard like head start them other countries get in like the televote, but I do think that that San Marino, if they make it with Say Na Na Na, they better do it with this one.
So, yeah.
I would be a little upset by that. So I personally really like it. Thank you, by the way, Sean, for your another super chat here. Has Sean been able to take part in your stuff at all this year? I really do miss him. We all miss him very much, Sean. But when I say he has moved on, not like he hates East United, but he's now living in Canada and is just busy with doing that stuff. And I wish, he would be more available. But yeah, right now, that is just for him not possible with the time difference. And yes, you make me think, well, Matt, you're in the same time zone. Yeah, but my life is different than his, what's happening and my availability. So yeah, for the time being, unfortunately, he is a little bit out of the loop. But hopefully, maybe next year he'll be a little bit more part of it. So do you think that San Marino has any chance at all based on what you're seeing right now, Philip, or is it completely dead on arrival, according to you?
Yeah, I'll just start off by asking. People are asking for a poll. Should we?
Yes, I'm typing that right now, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, the staging is helping. I'm on the lower side of the borderline qualifiers. It's like just on like 11th, 12th for me at the moment. But if I see the entire thing and it just works as smoothly as the beginning, it might be just qualifying for me also. I actually think it does have a chance now, which I didn't before.
So if for some reason next week they're saying, and the third qualifier of the evening is San Marino, your jaw wouldn't drop, right? It would not be the biggest shock to you.
No. It would all be very exciting to see how they finish it off and how they make that chorus work with the lighting and different and of course camera work.
Okay, yeah, that's it. From Los Angeles, where it's 10:32, and I can't wait for the competition next weekend. I got the SVT Play app, so I could watch it. I need to remember that I need to watch it as well because I'm in America now, so I don't really have like the easy access, but I do have press access. It's a little different. But yeah, no, I'm also in the same time zone as you. It's 10:34 now here, so I feel you on that one. And people complaining about my internet is fine. It's just something I restarted my computer sometimes. The software that I'm using, I think, is the issue. I am planning on switching, but switching in between like the busy Eurovision season is not that simple. So that's why. But for now, I will wait for a few more seconds for the poll results to come in, and then I'll add it to the results. If you didn't watch it yesterday, I don't want to give too much away, but we had like there was one country, that's the first time it happened, that because it's love it, like it, it's okay, or don't like it. One country got zero love, like 0% voted love it. So that's very, very sad.
now I didn't have the chance. Can I ask who
Yes,
it was?
You can. It was, any guesses? I'm gonna tell you, it's Albania. Albania got 0% in the love category in the rehearsal. That was very, very sad. All right, so let's see what's happening here. 33% like what they're seeing with San Marino. 29% love it. 25% say it's okay, and only 11% didn't like it. Now, I understand that this is not about how much you like the song. It's about how much impressed you are by the staging. That's very important to point out. But nevertheless, that's a good result, Philip, huh?
Yeah, it is. And let's see if it also translates to like the to say normal people, but the people, the families, and the older people, and the people who aren't as into the community as we are.
Yeah.
If it translates to them as well, it'll be fun to see.
Yeah, it's really San Marino has always a soft spot with the community, right? Because it's San Marino with
Yeah,
population of 32. It's just kind of like you root for this tiny little country.
the
So it is
national finals also are extremely fun.
yes, it is very different. It's just I mean, it would never work like this way on the Eurovision stage, but it is fun, and I'm glad they have it. I would be sad if they decide to get rid of it, because
Yeah.
it's a small country budget wise, but they how they finance it is also quite clever. I actually prefer watching it from the US. I'm from the East Coast because it gives time to digest what happened. It is true for me, the actual live show will start at noon local time. So I watch it for 2 hours for the grand final, for the semis, and then grand final, like 3.5 hours or 4 hours. So by the time, 4 o'clock, I can still have a whole day and do stuff, so that's pretty nice as well. But this is the first time I'm actually not going to be there physically in over 10 years. So it is a little adjustment. But my friends, fear not, I will be back. It's just in the words of
We'll be
Arnold
excited to
Schwarzenegger.
see you next year.
Yeah,
We'll be excited to see you.
wherever it may be, where that's going to be, that will be a different story. All right, so let me see if I make this screen smaller, if that's going to make a difference, but I doubt it. I'm gonna, oops, that's the wrong screen. Let me bring it down even more. I don't know, it's already 240. Can I bring it down 144?
Oh, that
All right.
that might be awful. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, bring it. Let's. Wow,
It
that
is
was.
fuego coded. It is fuego coded.
And I'll be like, "Can you stop the comparison?" I'm like, "How can you not? How
No.
can you not? How can you not?" Okay, all right. The song. I was like, "Wow, there are all these girl bops out there, right?" And this year, especially like 4 dancers, and there's some of them will lose out. Georgia just kind of really impressed me here, and certainly stays in contention because, first of all, she has the strongest voice, anyways, of these bops, I think. And I was like, Malta had a pretty good staging. And I was like, could they potentially overshadow them? Now I feel like, oh, Georgia really leaves a big impact here. Now, yes, have we seen it before? Sure. Have we seen fires and the dance break? They shows the dance break again. Sure. So here's the difference. Me personally, I'm like crazy about the dance breaks. You see it before, they all just flip their hair back and forth, and then just fire. So I can look past that, and me personally saying it's maybe not for me, but I can totally see like the viewers like, oh my God, that's really, really neat. And that's fun and energetic. And that is exactly what this song asks for. So having vocals, having the energy, having the visuals, I think this looked really, really good. Again, I don't know why they have fire when it's a song about a firefighter. That sounds like an incompetent firefighter, but that is a different story. But no, that looked really good. I was quite impressed. How do you feel?
I'm feeling optimistic if I was Georgian. If there's one thing I've taken away from watching all these clips, it is the Eurovision of circles. They really like circles this year. Everything has a circle. People are in circles, around circles, on circles. I don't get the obsession of circles this year. But yeah, I like it. I'm also not the biggest fan of the whole dance breaks, that kind of stuff. I like background dancers doing most of that work, but that's more just me. I've seen that it's shot up in the odds a bit also, so
Oh, is
there's a
it?
lot of people
Okay.
who, yeah, it is. It's on. It's eighth place now, I think.
Yeah.
It was 10th before the second rehearsal.
Well, that's good because I want Georgia in the finals. And we're not talking because I know Georgia will have a lot more competition to the girl bops in the finals.
Yeah. Now it's me again. It's just me again. Should I start speaking in?
Would be a plus. Okay. There's some technical difficulties going on here. There you go.
I'm back again.
And
I'm back again.
Yeah, we all disappeared for a second. Okay, so I was saying good stuff about Georgia, so I don't think it was them kicking me out. What I was saying was that all I want is for Georgia to be in the finals because it's been a while, and whatever happens in the grand finals is almost secondary for me. So I just want them in the finals, and that is certainly an exciting thing for me. So I did put the poll up. Let's wait for a second and see. This is your last chance to vote. And any questions or statements about Georgia, I'd love to hear them as well in the chat at ESC United. And he's saying we have Malta, Austria, Georgia, Cyprus, all the same. Cyprus is lucky because they're in the first semi, but we got Malta here, we got Austria in this one, right? And Georgia, yeah. So that is certainly, there's a little bit more competition here. Do you think it would be a surprise if Luxembourg makes the final only after coming back after such a long time? Do you consider Luxembourg's qualification a surprise or an expected outcome for you?
It is expected. They will qualify. I'm not even all that. I would be more surprised if they weren't to qualify.
Yes,
I can say it like that. Yeah.
Yes, I don't think that Luxembourg is meant to really put the final grand scoreboard on fire. In terms of results, I think in the finals that could easily kind of disappear between the competition. But in terms of qualification, I would not be surprised as well. It would be just great having them back because my biggest fears, especially with only having so few countries taking part these days, that after one bad result, they withdraw already. So I need them to qualify just to ensure that they're going to be around for a little longer. I'm so panicky about that because, we barely can hold on to 37 participants. So that would be a very, very sad situation.
Just to talk about the odds again, it's also third for highest chance of finishing last in the final. So it means that people will think it will reach the final, but not very good when it gets to the final.
I think, and that sounds reasonable to me because it has a great running order. Going last, and it has a cute and fun song enough to stand out. But I think it's the most original piece ever written. Anyways, but we digress. We going back to Georgia. So I'm curious to see how the community feels here, our viewers. 34% love it. 31% like it. 26% think it's okay. And only 7% did not like it. I'll call that a really good result. What do you think?
Deserved? Yeah, it is. It's deserved for the whole presentation of it. I'm not a big fan of the song, as I mentioned last time I was here. I find it very forgettable, and the chorus to be non-existent in my head. Yeah, but the whole rehearsal it looks good, and she can sing, so it will do better than it were before the rehearsal started.
Yeah, it's a competitive semi. I will say that there will be some surprises here, but Georgia is in the running here. So that makes me very, very happy. Okay, and let's keep going. Country number 3, which is not technically number 12, but 3 for tonight, is Belgium. Before I play the clip, because I'm really curious about this one, what was your mindset in terms of Belgium? You think this is a likely qualifier, a safe qualifier, or potential qualifier? Where do you fall?
My mindset is all on if he can belt when the shows are when we are at the semifinal. If he can do that whole final when the party's over, all that the whole thing and all it repeats a lot of times. So if he can do that and without that much struggle, I think it will be a certain qualifier.
Okay, well, let's find out. I'm not sure if they're going to give us that clip, but there's only one way to. Oh, I forgot to share. I almost hit play already. Okay. All right, let's do this again.
Can we see the microphones? I hope there's the microphones again.
Yes, that helps too. Well, let's find out.
More microphones. For.
Well, he's standing in front of the microphones. All right, that was Belgium. I am going to put up the poll, and while I'm doing that, why don't you share your thoughts, Philip?
My thoughts are now that it will qualify. That was great. Yeah, it worked, and I think he can sing it now. I think it's way better than in the whole the on the what do you call it, the clubs around, like what the whole the whole festivals and all different places, like in Spain, the Spain music. What's
The
it called?
pre-parties are you talking about right
Yeah, the
now?
pre. I'm talking
Okay,
about the pre-parties.
gotcha,
I'm
gotcha.
just struggling with words.
Oh, I know that feeling so well. Don't worry.
Yeah, and it works. And I actually think the repetitiveness will entice more people than move them away from it. And I think as long as he can keep building like he did in that rehearsal clip, it will do just fine.
Okay, well, I like the optimism there.
And
I mean,
Boris can be proud.
yeah,
Boris can be
I
proud
mean,
for once.
he sounded really good, and there's a certain like ability factor about him that I just can't deny. And I think it's a good song. So I'm more in the likely qualifier, not guaranteed qualifier. After watching that clip as well, I will say the last part is really powerful, but exactly what I'm fearful of is happening to me. I am one of those individuals, like, it gets repetitive, and I said my biggest concern is that unless he needs to switch up the end to not make it as repetitive, and that is my concern. But it's also only like less than 1 minute of the song, I think, right? Like a third of the song, so they're 2 minutes ahead. That's really, really pretty. So we cannot just base that on the 30 seconds that we just saw. But yeah, I do always get at the end a little distracted because it's a bit too repetitive. However, I do like what I'm seeing, and I like what I'm hearing as well, and that is the most important thing to me, right? So I am still more in the likely. If there was a shock non-qualifier, I still think it might be Belgium, only because the problem is, unlike semi one, I think a lot of the big hitters in terms of likely qualifiers are in the second half, not the first half, right? It's kind of flipped around in semi one, so when you look at like the other ones, like now Georgia, Estonia, Israel, Norway, Netherlands, most of them at least are in contention to qualify, right? So are there all the last 6 or 7 songs of the night all going to go through? I don't know if there's one that kind of misses out, but yeah, I don't know. I'm also overthinking it because that's how we do it. Let me see some of the comments before we end the poll here. The ending is just too repetitive for me. Those words going over and over and over again. As you said, Philip, you don't feel it's too annoying?
No, I think I'm one of those people who actually kind of get the whole repetitiveness of it. It's kind of like a build up to one chorus. It's not the same song structure as all other songs. It makes it different. It makes the moment worth it, I think.
That's fair. And that's why we love to have different perspectives, not just one opinion. To me, I think I would have liked it better if they added I can't think of anybody else. I'm like, what was so dramatic, like the John Lundvik flavor. And by that I mean backup vocalists, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a backtrack, and if they would have a light singer, maybe more gospely or more loud, that would have been a lot more intriguing and fun. But right now it's the backtrack, and it's repeat da, 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 da. It's like the same thing, and it doesn't have the same sort of like excitement to me like live vocals. And I think that would have added a little bit more pizzazz, I think. But overall, I don't want to be too harsh either, because it's still a good song and the staging looks good. Like, people are a little bit too harsh on Belgium as well, I think. There's been a little bit negativity out there. It's not that bad. So let me finish that poll here and see what the rest of the folks see. Okay. 36% say it's okay, actually. So that's the highest number. 28% they like it. 18% they don't like it, and only 17% say they love it. Not a terrible number, but Philip, it's a little lower than you anticipated.
No, I don't think it's lower than I anticipated. I just like it more than most people, I think. But I also think it will qualify. I think it's a strong qualifier still. It doesn't need to be only Euro fans who vote for this song.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Any concerns on your end about him being a bit sharp on some of those higher notes and the seemingly smug facial expressions and bravado that doesn't match with the vibe of the song? I personally didn't interpret them as smug. I don't think you did either, right? But
No.
I heard some minor
Extravagant, maybe.
Yeah, it's slightly sharp, but it is so minimal and small that it is not distracting. Once the vocals become distracting, that's when I start concerning, but to be concerned. But here, I don't have that impression that this is like taking me out of the moment, especially
Yeah.
Televote going to too much into like the deeds of, this was a little off. Like as long as they enjoy it, it'll be fine. How do you feel?
I'm usually quite picky on vocals. I remember last year, and there was a lot of songs where I was like, I just don't get the vocals. They don't sing like I want them to sing. Um, I just don't find it with this song. I don't know why. It might be it just clicks differently. If he can build like he did in that rehearsal there, they'll be fine.
Yeah. And Aussie Rose, I know our dear moderator also just showed up. Thank you so much for coming. You did not look at it wrong. We moved up this live stream a little bit because, the video, the clip came out quicker, and we wanted to have everyone's fresh on their mind kind of attitude. And that's why we're talking it through a little bit. So don't stress. Thank you. I had it under control for a little bit. So you're all good. No worries. And I don't expect you to always be, available. But so we have Georgia and Belgium down. We still have a few more. Next up on me list is Estonia. So I know such a shame that Gabe's not here, as our big Estonia cheerleader. But
I'll help him out. I'll help him out.
Yeah, okay, there you go. You like it too?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Okay, good. Actually, me too. But he's like next level. But by the way, you should go to our channel ESC United here on YouTube and check out the interview that he did with the group yesterday. I think it's a little longer, but it is so chill and relaxing. I just enjoyed watching it so much. And sometimes I don't get to watch all of the interviews because I do a lot of other stuff. But this one, I was like, it was so nice. So loved it. Anyways, let's move on to Estonia.
Oh, I think we need to do it again.
Why?
It's kind of glitchy again. I'm sorry.
No. Don't make
it.
it.
Yeah, it does it again. I'm sorry.
Let me try. Let me stop unsharing and reshare. Stop sharing. I'm going to burn this. Yeah, this is the last time I'm using this season, the software. Let me try one more time. Still choppy?
It kind of works now.
Okay, so as a fan of the song, Philip, what do you think?
It's just the best part of Eurovision. I just find it to be so fun. It's just fun in every sense of the word. I don't know if I get the staging yet. I might do when I get the whole picture. I know it's gonna be this sort of like battle between the two. But yeah, I just can't get away from how fun the song is. I hope it doesn't become too messy in the whole production aspect. And I also had a hard time actually watching it because it was a bit glitchy. But I actually think I think it's quite good. I think it's quite good.
Yeah, so I actually kind of agree with you. I need a little bit more because for this particular performance, I do like this, almost like less choreographed approach, even though everything is choreographed, but it's less, it seems like almost natural stuff. I'm going to kick you, and then, I'm going to walk over here. So it's still all choreographed, of course, but it doesn't give that, over the top choreography, which I find actually quite endearing and has actually a lot of benefits. I said it before, and I'm not going to say this, biggest fan of the camera work. It seems to be like it needs to be closer again, because it seems, even though they had 6 people on stage, the way they shot it, sometimes it zoomed, it almost felt still empty, the stage. So I think the camera work is not as, I'm not thrilled with this particular clip in terms of how the camera is working. And that is a little disappointing. That being said, the song is what it is. And I do think that there is a huge market for this out there for the song. And now that this is another polarizing entry. Polarization in Eurovision is not necessarily a bad thing because, again, you cannot vote against a country, only for one. So I think that Estonia is sitting pretty. Was it my favorite rehearsal clip? I wouldn't say that. But it was good. It was good. Do you personally, I know you're a big fan, and sometimes it's difficult to put off your fan hat, I myself included, but let's try. Looking at the song, just looking on its merits, whatever you see right now, where do you fall in terms of qualification? Do you think it's sure, likely, maybe, probably not? Where do you sit right now?
It's probably just above Georgia for me. It's on the no. I find it to be on borderline terms. It's borderline for me, borderline, but I think it'll just qualify right now.
Yeah. People are saying, didn't you say the same thing about Latvia 22? Wasn't Latvia 22 Eat Your Salad?
Yes.
I despise that song. I was the only person on the team who said no. It's not going. No, team was like, "Oh, it's going to go through," and I'm like, "In your dreams." So no, I was not thinking that. To be fair, so let me end the poll here.
I don't know why I'm getting a bit of Moldova 2022 as well from this. I'm just having so much fun with it, and I kind of agree with you with the whole camera work, but I'm just so blinded by how fun the song is, I think.
Yeah. No, I get it. And I made that comparison as well. It's probably a jury flop. That's why I'm already know that. But in the semis, it doesn't really matter. So I'm writing it down here right now. So 32% think it's okay. 31% did not like it. 21% they liked it. And 15% love it. So your thoughts on the results, Philip?
People hate fun, I think.
It is fun, but I also get it if they don't like, because it's just that kind of song. And there are other fun. We have a lot of fun songs this year, right? And it is true. It feels like some of the fun songs often get a little kicked to the side, which in some ways there's a difference also between, for me, fun and just a big novelty act. So I don't think this is novelty. This is just fun to me. While others are a little bit more novelty. I'm not going to say any Finlands, I mean names, but it is kind of like that. I don't want to put.
Oh, I had an even worse one to say, but I don't think I want to say this on a live stream because I might get slaughtered by fans.
Okay. I know. All right. So, I didn't expect this dude to show up, but let's bring him in. Hey, Connor.
Hello. I am good. I have slept most of the day, and I've just caught up on the rehearsal clips and lunch and all that jazz. So,
all right. Well, you're ahead of me because we only have made it to Estonia so far. So we saw San Marino, Georgia, Belgium, and Estonia. Like one that you really want to talk about that you're like, yeah.
Gosh, I didn't prepare for that. I caught a little bit of your conversation about Belgium in between, just about like the repetitiveness of the back end of the song, of which I do agree. I think the clip really highlights that. That I think it's going to be its struggle. Estonia actually surprised me. So y'all haven't seen me on the stream most this entire season, but
yeah,
I've just not really. I have not connected with the Estonian entry. I don't necessarily think that it's bad. I think that it's good for what it is. It's just not for me. But they have improved it from Estee Lauder, because in Estee Lauder, the Estee Lauder version I really disliked because you could not hear them. You couldn't understand what they were saying. They were just doing a little bit too much, and they were too high energy. And they've really tried. They found that like happy medium where they can maintain the essence of the Estee Lauder performance, but elevate it to Eurovision standard. I think the one that really surprised me, though, the one that like I'm like, ooh, this is like I actually really, really want to see more of, was San Marino's, which I didn't expect to say, because we've seen in the pre-parties that Megara and the lead vocalist for Megara in particular is extremely high energy and has a tendency to burn out vocally really fast because she can't keep up with all of the energy that she's expending during her performance. And so I'm really interested to see, since obviously the clip that we got is the first 30 seconds of the performance, what does the back 2 minutes and 30 seconds actually look like for them? But they've actually done a really good job, and it's actually extremely slick as what we saw. So I'm actually really excited to see, which again, I don't think I've ever said that about a San Marino performance, where I'm like, I'm actually excited to see this in full. But I think that they could possibly have a fighting chance this time around. I thought that they were most likely going to be out. But we will see.
We will see. Okay. And I just made sure I sent you the poll information right now on your messenger. Can you check your messenger real quick? So you see the poll information.
Got it.
Okay, perfect. Just to make sure, then you can help me with that later. Okay. So we do like multitasking at once here. Since you haven't really been on the stream, we have a few minutes or like a minute. Semi one. Give me like one or two countries that really, not even like your personal taste, like your favorites, but who really had like an impressive staging for you. Like we don't know everything, all tentative, but you get my point.
Yeah. Gosh, that's actually really hard. So I don't actually remember. I remember that I made an appearance earlier in the week, and I don't remember what the heck I said. That's how my week has been.
That's all right. I know. Yeah, please. I don't remember anything.
So I would say Ireland. Ireland has also kind of had a little bit of a like my comments on San Marino, where like I didn't really have a lot of expectations or hope coming in, and seeing the Ireland clip and kind of seeing how all the camera angles play with the pictures of what we've received. I really think that they've fixed all the problems that I originally had when it was selected, because it just looked like a hot garbage mess in a studio or a TV studio. Like, with
I know. To be fair, every performance looks bad in there, but yeah, especially this one.
Yeah, Ireland needs to stop doing the Late Late Show as their selection method, because they have never been able to produce a version of the song or the performance that tells us anything. And so I really do enjoy it, and I think it actually does tell the story of her song really well. In terms of other entries, Semi 1 is so hard because so many of them just took the national final performance and just copy paste.
That's okay if you can think of one. No pressure. No pressure.
I think it's
I
just
said one
Ireland.
or two. You gave me one. You gave me one. You did your duty. Don't worry. You did your duty. So in that case, I'm going to go back to sharing me screen. So we display the next clip real quick. It is Israel.
Dancing in the storm, I got nothing to hide. Take it out and leave the world behind. Baby, promise me you'll hold me again. I'm still broken from this hurricane.
So I'll post the poll right now. You are able to vote on this one as well. Our rules at ESC United, so we also going to talk about a little bit now. I haven't had a chance to Connor, have you seen the Big Five, the direct qualifiers rehearse yesterday?
Yes, I did all of the rehearsal coverage for it. So yeah.
Oh, you did? So thumbs up, thumbs down, where do you fall?
So with Sweden, it's the same from Melody Festival as it always is. And so, I will say that it does look a little bit better with the LED cubes, because that's less like the whole time. I think the one that Italy is hard to judge because they copyright struck the TikTok.
That's so fun.
So she is now the only one who has no sound in her exclusive behind the scenes clip. It looks really good just from the photos and the little pieces that we got. But I think that I was the most interested in France and the United Kingdom. The UK song in its studio version does not do much for me. And I figured that it's probably one of those you have to get to it live. And then once you get to it live, something's going to happen. And I think that they have a very interesting staging plan. I had to go through like for 30 minutes and try and dissect and figure out how the heck they're doing all the things that they're doing. And I finally figured it out. So if you're interested, go and read the rehearsal coverage from yesterday that I wrote, because I wrote up a little bit of how all of the upside downness is all happening. But I think that one is going to be a really interesting performance. Spain is Spain.
Spain,
Spain is
does
Spain, and she is Spaining.
Spaining. That sounds a very interesting verb, but
it just my critique with Zora is that I really like the song and I really like the studio, but when she gets to the live performance, it's kind of go girl, give us nothing. And it's a song that's supposed to be like really upbeat and like exciting, and I just get very flat vibes from it. And so I need to see the full version of it, but at least what we saw from the TikTok, I'm a little worried about her energy. And then Germany took a really weird direction that I wasn't expecting, of lighting a house set on fire. But I think that one I'm interested to see the full three of the most.
I think this is the most intriguing. Like, I had one of my big surprises that Germany is really trying. Whether or not it's going to work out, we'll have to see. But they're certainly not sitting back and just hoping for the best. They're certainly doing something. What it is, we'll find out. But for now, let's move on to the next country on our list. Is Norway. Let's take a look. Okay, Philip, I'm going to go to you first. What are your thoughts?
I've always been a fan of the song. I don't get the whole cutting close too far when she spins around. I feel it being a bit messy. I don't really get that. I enjoy. It's another Estonia situation. I like the song so much. I think I'm blinded a bit by what happens. It's kind of like the national final. Also, it's very similar. It's not inventive in any way, but I enjoy the song, so I think I'll just stand by that.
Oh, that is totally fine. How about you, Connor?
It's again very much like Melody Grand Prix, so not a lot of things really stick out. There is one camera angle in here that I don't love, and it's like in the first 5 seconds they start the pan around, and it clips over to a close-up shot and then back to the pan. And I don't know if that's just a camera issue where maybe something happened and connectivity was lost, so they went to a backup, or what happened. But that shot is literally there for like maybe less than a second and then flips back over. And it kind of ruins a little bit of that atmosphere, because in Melody Grand Prix, it's like a full like 360 shot that they essentially do with her. That was the only thing that I really like picked up on in this, that I was like, that's weird. I don't mind that it kind of keeps flipping back and forth, but I feel like you need to kind of pick one. You either need to do that full 360 pan, or you need to do that full close-up shot, but you can't keep flipping back and forth between them, because it just kind of kills the atmosphere that they're kind of going for. But what a tease to stop the clip right where they did, because that's where like the big hit is. If I understand where we're at in this performance, I think that this is the back section of the song. And so as we saw on the TikTok, there is a guitar throw that's going to happen, the water curtain that's going to happen, all sorts of things. So like that's what I was excited to see. And then they were like, haha, no, you can't. I was like, damn.
Yeah. It's very interesting. So I'm putting up a comment because I agree that I love the staging, but I want to see closer camera angle when the waves crash. So that was the one thing I was looking forward to. I posted on Twitter when I saw like this clip on TikTok with the waterfall crashing. It looked like she is making the water move, and I was like almost lactating. That was just so like amazingly beautiful, like the whole effect, right? So we didn't get to see that on here. And I was a little bummed out. I wish they had like this. I felt like the shot that was so cool, the LED did not get captured in this particular clip. So I was waiting, like, can I see it? Can I see it? And then it didn't happen. So I'm like, dang it. So maybe that happens later. I will say this song, you know, it's a lot of like loud singing, not wailing, but you know, it's not like a soft song, the vocals. And she cracked a couple of times there here and there, wasn't, you know, so it kind of works almost because it's part of the song, you know, this rawness gives me almost like a Bjork feel, because she was never like really like the best consistent singer when she had her weird singing, but it kind of added flavor to her own genre. So but it I did notice it a little bit. So yeah, maybe it was my own fault for like waiting for these darn wave effect that I was kind of like, I didn't get it. But I was just whelmed on this one because, you know, I feel like all we saw, as you point out, was the national final repeat here with that particular clip. So I was just, okay, it was fine. It was good. I'm not as crazy about the song myself. Like it's not my favorite song they're running. I don't hate it. Of course, I don't hate any of the songs, but it's not on my go-to list. So this clip didn't make a difference to me.
I will say, I mean, at least from a vocal standpoint, she sounds a lot more improved from Melody Grand Prix to Malmo, because she, like you said, she cracked on a lot of notes. She sometimes bailed out on a couple of them, especially as she got into the higher register of things, which, I mean, again, the genre of this song isn't for vocal accuracy and tuning and things of that nature. But, you know, when you're in Melody Grand Prix, I think you can get away with it because you're in a smaller cross section. You know, you've got 8 other songs that you're competing with. But when you get to the Eurovision and you're one of 26, that is just one thing for a potential jury or televote to ding you for. And so they have really figured out a way to deliver the atmosphere and deliver the performance while also not sacrificing on her vocals. And so she's done a lot of endurance training, it seems like, to really find I will say she does clip the note, so that also helps her. I don't know if you listen to it, you know, back a couple of times, she used to hold that note all the way over and then go ah, and when she went straight up into the chorus, she went and just clips it. So that kind of helped her cheat a little bit, but it's a lot better, I would say, to clip and cheat than it is to completely bail out on a note, go flat, and then try and salvage yourself.
Question, I'm not sure if either of you know. I know last year MGP had autotune. Live auto. Do they still have that this year as well?
They do have live autotune. Yeah.
So maybe, you know, that kind of played a role in this as well. I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I can only speculate here. So, but that was one thing I remember I hated in 23. So I still hate it in 24. But we know it's going to happen in Eurovision 27. So, you know, that's kind of how it evolves. So, but let's for now take a look at the poll. How y'all feel in terms of this particular rehearsal clip? 34% love it. 34% like it, 19% think it's okay, and 12% did not like it. I will say it's a pleasant surprise. It's a little bit higher than I anticipated. Not that I have a problem with that, but, you know, I thought maybe some people picked, you know, were not quite fond with it. Philip, what do you think? This kind of you were hoping for? You happy or?
Yeah, no, I almost started speaking Danish there. Yeah, it was kind of what I expected. It's good, and we haven't even talked about qualifying odds yet, but I think it's quite certain to qualify. Also.
I felt like unnecessary. Is anyone in the chat here, or like the three of us, considering not Norway as a non-qualifier?
No, but just to
yeah. And I said it before, and people like, what could be the shock non-qualifier? The only way I said Norway could be a shock non-qualifier if the style is too grating to the average European ear, you know, they just don't get it. That would be the only way I could see it, but I just don't see it. You know, it's the only the people just don't get the song. And it's unlikely. You're shaking your head, Connor.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a world that
Yeah.
this would not make it through. Now, whether or not we're having a conversation of this being, first, second, third in the semifinal, well, that's a little bit of a different conversation. But I definitely think that there are more songs in here that are either in need of much more help for the semifinal, or are much more are going to be much more hit or miss with a European audience than this one. I mean, the one that is of concern for me right now, just because it was on yesterday's stream at the end, but it's actually Armenia, which is so sad for me to say because I love this song, but it just seems so empty and it seems so just tame in comparison to what the song and her as an artist is, which is chaos, musical chaos on stage. And so I'm hoping that the clip is really misleading, and that maybe she'll feed off the crowd and things like that. But I'm like, oh, I can see a world where Armenia is 8 through 10, or if they miss out, they're 11, 12.
I'm here to save the day. I thought it was fantastic. I thought the exact opposite of what you're saying, actually. The only thing I did point out as well is I could tell that this was lower energy than it needed to be because it was the rehearsal, because the energy wasn't there for that the song needed. The way she walked across the stage, and all of that, it didn't capture the excitement and the funness of the songs. I said that as well, but I do like the staging. I like the idea. Once the full energy comes in, it needs an audience. They need to, bring it up a little in terms of energy. This is going to look good. I think it has a lot of potential. This kind of music is going to do really, really well. So I thought the opposite. I had one of the better impression of the day. So it's very interesting to hear different opinions on that and how it's being perceived. Because you can have one person talk about how awesome it was or how bad it was, and then their opinions all over the place. Where do you fall, Philip, on the Armenia thing? Just since we're talking about it.
I'm still eating. Just give me a sec.
Oh, okay. I didn't
How
realize
dare.
you were eating. How dare you? Then we call it a tie. So I think that's it for the rehearsals for the day. So we can call it a day, right?
No.
No.
Incorrect.
Wrong.
I think we're missing a blooper or something.
Wrong. Yeah. Now, of course,
isn't there a winner's interval that comes up next?
I know, right? We have, of course, the Netherlands, and very interesting one that I am curious to find out, to see what. I have a feeling, I haven't seen it yet, that they have chosen a very unimportant part of the song, because I feel like they really don't want to show us anything. So we will see. Okay, so let me share my screen, and let's hopefully enjoy this. Here is Europapa's 30-second snippet. Okay.
But they're doing that.
Zijn we allemaal mensen. Mijn vader zei me ooit, het is een wereld zonder grenzen. Ik mis je elke dag, is wat ik stiekempjes fluister. Zie je nou wel, pa? Ik heb naar je geluisterd.
Okay. I want to hear from you first, Connor. Your thoughts.
Well, I think your description of them not wanting to give us anything is a very accurate description.
Yes.
I think that they know that there's a lot of, I don't want to say pressure, because I don't think he feels pressure, but there's a lot of expectation to deliver. They are closing out the second semifinal. They have been very high in the odds, very high in the stream plays. They were able to kind of guard a live performance all the way until Eurovision in concert towards the end of the pre-party season. So they're putting up a defense here. And I think what they've given us is a very smart selection, again, to give us not a lot of information and context for what crazy zany things they're doing on stage, but they are able to show us how that outro is going to be implemented, which was my kind of concern, was like how it works in the music video to like flip it to this emotional way. But I was like, how are they going to be able to really go from this dance club mix in Malmo and then try and flip it to this really intense emotional feeling? And I think that they've actually really done it in a really smart way. One, by giving it subtitles, because with subtitles it makes sense, without them it doesn't. And then two, adding on the back of the LED, it says, you know, from me to my parents, is just a really great way to kind of put kind of that little at the end of the performance. So I'm interested to see the rest of it, because I think my concern is the same as I mentioned earlier with like Megara, where I'm like, does he have the vocal steam to keep up with this track for 2 minutes 45 seconds? I think he
I
possibly
love how you have the
can.
exact seconds down. Good job.
Well, like the outro is like around 15 seconds. It was like half of the rehearsal clip. Okay. But yeah, can he keep up the steam and things like that? Or is it just going to be one of those really kitschy, fun Eurovision songs? Which is really a conversation of, is it top 10 material, or is it going to end up in the middle if they qualify for the grand final, which I think that they will.
All right. How do you feel about this, Philip?
I'll second most of what has already been said. I enjoy the whole contrast that they do. I love the lyrics on screen. It's a great effect. I think I just hope he can portray that emotion when it comes to a big, like that big final, or even the semi-final, that he can get that through the screen. I was kind of expecting like more of a black and white rave, not with the whole red light and very bright red light during that whole rave portion, or the techno portion before the final. I'm not sure if I'm totally on for that, the whole red light, but I think I'll just need to see it one more time, maybe.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot to really go by, you know, just the very end. And honestly, I didn't really want to comment on it, because this is a very personal ending to him, right? So people will have responses or reactions to it, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. How am I going to explain this? And I'm saying this with all the love and respect in my heart. And I just want to be honest. I was a little bit. It's touching. It's very sweet, and it's so sad what he went through. Of course, I lost my parents at a young age as well, and to me, it's just hard for me to put that the crying, the fake, like for the rehearsal. It just kind of sits not right with me, kind of thing, you know. But that's really just a personal thing, because I experienced it, something like that, and therefore, you know, for me, it's almost personal, and it's kind of like, I don't, you know, rehearsing this feels wrong to me, you know. But that's why I'm just being honest here. I know maybe he felt it every time he says it, but to me, it's just it just didn't feel quite as you know, it felt a little uncomfortable to me, and that's just, again, a personal a personal experience. That's why I realized I probably made a face, and I didn't want people to think like I was being rude. So that's why I think I was a little like I was a little bit, you know, taken aback by it. So hopefully it's gonna be, you know, fine. It just was a lot for me. I like this Japanese schoolgirl from the video clip, so I'm disappointed. I mean, that's just a music video. I mean, I think so. I don't even remember them. Where were
When the chorus hits, when they start doing Europapa, that's they're in like a little tiny hallway corridor and doing the dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun. dun.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
they were like the dancers for it. I will say there's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of conversation going on about the emotional aspect of the background. I understand that everyone's like, it's not fake, you know, whatever. Yes, his actual emotional attachment is not
No,
fake.
I'm not saying that.
But you can kind of tell in this rehearsal that he's not giving it its 100% emotional output, because it's just a rehearsal, and he's just, you know, it at the stage note says Joost gets emotional here, and so that is what he's portraying for the rehearsal clip. But then when we actually probably get to the live dress rehearsals and the actual live show, I do suspect that he probably is going to have a little bit more of a more realistic emotional reaction in that moment than just like panting and just, just being out of breath, that is what he is naturally at, at that point. So we know that it's not fake, but the way that it happens in rehearsal, it does seem very just put on, because he's not focused on the emotional aspect and selling the song. He is just focused on getting through and having a clip and it being released to the world. So
yes, that's exactly how I felt about it as well. And this is not to diminish anyone's suffering or mourning. Everyone mourns in a different way. My mom's been gone for over 30 years now. So it's not a day where I'm like, not sad. It's just, it sticks with you. It just gets different.
Mhm.
So I get it. I totally get it. So I don't want to diminish that at all. It's just right now, it's just, and people have different life experience. And I think that's the beauty about this. People may respond to it well. So, because I remember like Germany 2018, Michael Schultes, that made me weep, because I connected with those lyrics a lot. So
I remember.
yeah. Oh, that got me so hard. And I was just like, oh no.
I remember my first year with ESC United watching the stream and you just bawling your eyes out as Sean sat there and was just like,
I know, it was so awkward. Like, I don't want to even release this video. I was thinking that this is going to become almost too personal. But I'm just being honest here. But I will say, what the cool thing about the Netherlands, to get back on topic, is that they will really make I have a feeling it's going to drop a little bit in the betting odds. People are going to talk about, no. I'm trusting the process here. I think that they're going to really, really surprise us here. And ultimately, the song is fun. People like the song, even if you just listen to it on the radio, right? So I don't think it should change your mind. We always have these high expectations. So yeah, I think we'll be fine. And by we, I mean the Netherlands. Let's take a look at the poll here real quick and see where people fall. I have a feeling people really like it, but this one's hard to judge. 31% actually love it. There you go. 26% think it's okay. 22% don't like it. And then 19% like it. This is all over the place, like love, hate, da. Are you surprised about that, Philip? Or you figured that would be polarizing?
It totally makes sense to me. It is you either love this song or you find it annoying and you find it too tacky and a bit too all over the place. I'm not even a little bit surprised by that. It is an even or kind of song, at least for me, and I'm on the positive side.
Yeah.
What about you, Connor? Looking at this, kind of like, okay, so expected.
It's expected. Yeah. I mean, I think that obviously the Eurovision fan bubble tends to over extrapolate the potential success of things, but I think that this is a little bit more accurate to maybe what the overarching reaction could be, is that there are going to be people who are really, really obsessed with this song. And like, it can do no wrong. It will be 12 points regardless of what they put on stage. And then there will be people who will be like, this is not my cup of tea. And this is not something I'm going to vote for, even if it was the best performance on the night.
Yes.
And then there's going to be a bunch of people who fall in the middle. So, the strategy of Eurovision is you got to try and get as many people on the left side of the scoreboard as possible to give you the most points so that you can do as well as you can. And that's the game.
That's the game. So, sorry, my puppy woke up. So, stay there. We all believe, we all know, I'm not even going to do a poll here, that Netherlands is going to qualify. According to the odds, at some point, the Netherlands was third. I think they're fifth right now. So we're still in the top five, right? Between the three of us, who thinks that Netherlands is still is a contender for the win? I personally just don't think that the series will allow it, but you do.
Have to. Yeah, I kind of.
Why do you have to?
I don't know why I put some money on it from the start, and I just kind of want to stick to my gut. I don't really want to give up on that yet. I still have hope. Let's just say it like that. I don't actually believe it, but I have money on it, so I kind of need to stick to that.
So those I have now all the votes from semifinal 2, and I will do a ranking video as well. So if you don't want to know the results, cover your ears. But I want to tell Connor who won this poll for semi 2. So everybody else, cover the ears if you don't want to know. If you do, that's fine. Connor, according to the ESC United viewers, the most surprising positive reaction they've had to a rehearsal was Armenia. It was just funny to me. I was like,
Hey,
really? So I guess that
listen,
was
like I said, the performance of Armenia is great. The song is great. The act is great. Everything about it is great. It's just the energy that we have received throughout the season from like the pre-parties and everything like that is just not on that stage. The camera angles, the direction that they've taken, it's not what I was expecting, because I expected it to quite literally be her running around the stage and hyping up the crowd and everything like that. So I think that people are going to like it regardless, and they just don't care. But I'm just like, man, I was really excited about this song because it is, it's like 8th or 9th in the running order. So like, it's like a perfect hype up for the mid section of the semi. And I feel like it's just kind of lost its steam, so to speak, from what we've seen in the clip. I still think it's going to do fine. So potato.
Sarah is saying, I love this entry, but there's no jury appeal. Yes, I mean, I will agree with you. I think there is not much jury appeal, but the semis are only finals. I do feel this year there are so many songs that I feel as don't have jury appeal, that some of them will have to bound to get points, you know. So we talked about Finland, we talked about several other songs. Estonia comes to mind, and there are a bunch of them that just seem more televote friendly, which I think is a little bit due to the fact that semifinals are now 100% televote. So yeah, I'm not too surprised to hear that. Excuse me. Let me see here. Any other questions? We have a few more minutes to answer some questions. I doubt the juries will like the chicken on stage. What's chicken?
The blue chicken.
Netherlands.
Oh, in Armenia, or are we talking about
Netherlands.
They have a chicken too? Oh, that's
the blue
right.
one.
The blue, the big bird in the Dutch big bird. That's right.
Yep.
Yes. There are too many chickens involved this year. It's the year of the chicken, right?
It's circles and chickens this year. That's what we found out.
Yeah, that's true. See, I didn't forgot about that.
I will just say this: the impact that North Macedonia had before they left the contest.
Wait, did they have a chicken?
No, they had all the circles.
Circles.
Oh, they had all the circles. That's
You
right.
don't want to test my limits. They're like, damn, this is actually a really good concept.
That's right. We have so many recurring themes this year. We have all the circles. We have all the chickens now. We have all the face keenies and face coverings of the backup dancers, right? That's very popular as well. Dance Breaks is back with the girl bops. You have like so many random themes this year that, you know, I'm kind of like stuck on it. So it's just very interesting. Georgia is my biggest surprise. Could they finish left-hand side in the grand final? So I'm not sure if we talked about that. It was early on. Philip, Connor. No, I asked you, Philip. So Connor, I don't think you were here yet. Georgia for you. As of right now, likely qualifier, unlikely qualifier, borderline, where do you fall?
Well, I mean, honest opinion, I think that she's going to qualify mainly just because we know that a girly bop with a dance break does really well at Eurovision. Just by pure blank nature, they will find something to stand and run away with. I don't think that the level of success that I was hoping for is going to be there in the grand final, just because she's probably going to get stacked up against a lot of other songs with similar characteristics. And if she does qualify, once we get to that point, I don't think she's the most successful high choreographed dance break song. So I don't know about left scoreboard because I think that one, we only have 30 seconds and it's really just the dance break. And I think that everything around the dance break is what's going to make or break it. I do know that she's a vocalist because obviously she was on American Idol and we've seen a bunch of her performances and she has the steam to get there. I think it's just a matter of what camera work they're doing and what's going on stage. Because if she just stands on that platform, it's game over for me. That's a song that she needs to be dynamic and moving around and all that stuff. So qualify, yes. Left side of the scoreboard, top 10. We'll
TBD. TBD for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if in semi-final 2, all songs in the second half and only Switzerland and Armenia in the first half will qualify. Philip, do you think there could be a universe with the Netherlands, Norway, Israel, Estonia, Belgium, Georgia, and San Marino will qualify? Well, and Latvia then if you said second half, right? So that's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, all of these 8, and then only Armenia and Switzerland from the first half. Do you think that's a possibility?
That's a lot of countries to think about at one time. I don't think I have the overview of that.
It's a lot, right? Yeah.
Opinion on it.
I'm more
that's
worried.
a lot of countries.
Yeah, between like 11 and 16, which is Georgia, Belgium, Estonia, Israel, Norway, Netherlands, we would have the last 6 songs, all of them qualify, right? Because these are all likely qualifiers at this point, or at least considered qualifiers. It's hard for me to imagine that all of them will go through. There's always that one surprise. It happened before, maybe, but there is that one song that kind of fades away in the memories of people, So is there one that you could think of? Would it be Georgia then, Connor?
I was just about to say Georgia, but yeah, Connor, you can also say the same if you want.
Yeah, say the same, but only the same.
Only same. Yeah, I don't know. I see your point of like, it being all these songs being in the back half and everything. But I mean, especially if you take a look at last year, the first semifinal in results was literally like all over the place. Songs 2, 4, 6, 12, and 14 were the non-qualifiers. Whereas in semi 2, it was 1, 3, 7, 8, and 11 and 12. So like, I think that a chunk of qualifiers are going to come from Belgium, Estonia, Israel, Norway, Netherlands. In that chunk, there is probably going to be at least 3 qualifiers. I think the rest of them, I think this semifinal is the one where it's probably going to be qualifier, non-qualifier, something, like just a very random scatter plot order versus it being 6 qualifiers: Georgia, Belgium, Estonia, Israel, Norway, Netherlands, and then just 2, 3 randos.
But I just want to read that comment because I thought it made my day. Good evening, lovely, mad, and brilliant team and friendly mods. Happy Eurofishy fans. Yes, I may have had a glass of wine, but it's important to show my gratitude. Couldn't manage without you guys. Well, that's like the biggest compliment ever. Drink up. I wish I'm weird like that. I'm the weirdest German. I do not like alcohol. I don't like the taste of alcohol, so I don't drink it. So I cannot relate, but enjoy your glass of wine.
I would also like to mention that it's a great pun because the user is Bewildered Penguin, and therefore the Eurofishy fans.
I meant to mention that because I didn't want to interrupt, but because based on our just dialogue we've had right now, that would imply that Greece could be a non-qualifier. Is there a chance that you could see Philip Greece not qualifying?
Not under any circumstances. It is a certain qualifier.
Right, and the thing is, people are worried about the staging and all that stuff. There's still a song out there, right? So we had really boring staging before, and the song was still strong, and that is oftentimes enough. Staging isn't everything. It can often elevate or downgrade a performance in the field, absolutely. But when you have a good song, you already, have, and it's a very popular song, even, so I would be shocked to see Greece not in, especially not, I'm not going to predict that yet if you haven't seen the whole package yet. Never say never, of course, but right now I feel like also it's a very likely qualifier.
Mhm.
Okay, could Ukraine win the semi and final televote? Do you guys think that Ukraine is a televote winner, either in semi or the final or both?
No, I mean, which it hurts me to say because I love the Ukrainian song, and I also love Aliona and Jerry Heel. Aliona, I've been listening to well before they decided to enter Vidbeer this past year, and they also toured here in Dallas, and so I got to see them live, and it was a fantastic experience. However, I don't think that the song has the pull to do a televote win. I think that it has a pull to be top 5 in the jury, potentially. Again, in the world where they qualify, make it to the final. But yeah, I don't have confidence in their ability to win the televote. I think that they top 10, 12.
Can I put my finish your thoughts, sorry.
Yeah, just top 10 or 12 in the televote, sure, but top 1.
Can I put my conspiracy hat on for a second? I usually don't do that, but I do it every once a year. I do. I'm good. I'm ready for a good conspiracy. I believe, unless they really get one of the few second half, that Ukraine will be early in the running order, because I don't think the EBU wants Ukraine to win right now. So with the producer chosen running order, I could see them being like 3rd or 4th, and the earlier you are in the running order, the less likely you get a high televote. It's not because they don't like Ukraine, but they know it's just the stuff that's happening around Ukraine, unfortunately. And that's just my fear as well. And they had really good running orders the last few years, so that would be a good way to kind of just put them early. I don't like the producer. That's also another just jab at the producer running order now, almost like completely, because you open up for more conspiracy theories. So that's what I'm believing. Not that I want this, but hey, that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, but even without that conspiracy, I do think that Ukraine's going to do really well. I don't think that they will win the televote. That at least my feeling.
I mean, Sweden won out of slot 9 last year, so I mean,
yeah, but that's 9 is different than like 3. You know, and it didn't win the televote. It's not as impactful for the juries. It's more the televote. You know,
I'm just saying, it depending on where they end up, they could end up like 7, and they could be like,
they can win.
We've killed it, and then they'll be like, just kidding.
And now the televote also starts from like the first song now, right? Isn't that with the new final? It's already from the first song. We don't really know how much that changes now if people just tune out after like the first half.
Yeah, the thing is though, numbers wise, even like, you know, I said in the last few as well, less people watch the beginning of the show than the end of the show. There are a lot of people that tune in halfway through and they don't listen to the first 10 songs of the next.
That's also true.
Yeah, so and Spain, I'm almost sure it was Spain released. Was it last year or the year before? Like the data, how when people tuned in Spain, and the number was like twice as high at the end, kind of thing. So it does have an impact because a lot of people haven't even heard about it. So, but yeah, I do like. I mean, we've done this voting from the beginning before. 10 years ago, I think was 2013 and 12 or something like that, like around that time. And they stopped doing that because it made zero difference. Because there are like 3 people that voted early, but other than that, it was just, you know, the vast majority wait until all songs were known to vote. So they didn't see a need to have it open. Maybe it's now a new era generation where things are different with, you know, people being more online than ever before, that they actually vote right away. So we'll see how that's going to pan out. But that is just something, you know, I am always fully aware of. An early running order, I'm not saying is the death of a win, but certainly decreases your chances significantly. Who are your picks for the jury winner and the televote winner? In the grand final, do you have a few songs that you think are the potential jury / televote winner? I still stand by what I'm saying. At this point, it's France's race to lose for the juries, and I think Switzerland could be potentially number 2. Could be potentially flipping around, but those are the 2 I'm thinking right now will be competing for that spot. But I still think France will be the number 1. See if I'm wrong, but I just know it. And by no, I mean I just feel it. For the televoters, there's a lot of competition. It's a very televote friendly year. I'm trying to think. Running order will also be a big difference there. I'm trying to think. Italy is still up there for me. Ukraine has but not win, I think. Gosh, I have to think right now. Who else is potentially? Guys, can you think of anything else?
Croatia, right?
Oh, Croatia. Thank you. How could I forget? Oh, I'm so sorry, Croatia. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. Yeah, Croatia obviously up there as well. What do you guys think?
I mean, assuming that Austria qualifies, because again, we're in this like giant bubble of what ifism at the moment. But if they qualify and the full 3-minute performance is as good as at least the rehearsal clip looked, I have a theory that she could possibly be top 6 in a televote. But it also really depends on where they put her. I had my running theory the last time I was on that she's probably going to be put in the front half, like the first 5 songs of the grand final if she qualifies, just because they want to really kick off the show with a bang and try and get people in there. Part of the reason why they put Tay and Selena as the first run was they knew how popular it was, and they were really hoping that people would tune in song 1, and it backfired on them because they went from doing pretty well in the semifinal to not so well in the grand final. So, and then I think Norway is still pretty high up there in terms of potential. They're a little bit more volatile though, because again, it depends on really the full performance, which we haven't seen. But I think that there's a lot of love across the board for the Norwegian song. So I could see a reality where they're top 5 in televote as well.
Could you guys see, Philip, that Netherlands is a televote winner? I mean, we don't know yet, right? It's just you think it's a potential televote winner as well.
I think I originally said that Switzerland would be, or Italy. One of the two would be the televote winner, but it all depends on where it lands in the final. But yes, it is absolutely a possibility.
Do you guys think that Sweden could be getting a Benjamin Ingrosso televote this year? Or do you think it's too popular? I'm just worried about the song because I get a similar staging vibe from it, and with the early running order and all the big ones coming after, I feel as we could look at the lowest Swedish televote, not jury vote. I expect top 10 for juries, that for Sweden the juries, but for the televote, I'm really, really worried about Sweden. What do you guys think?
I don't think it's impossible. I have had a feeling that it could be forgotten. It is one of those songs that isn't all the way there in either way. It is very jury friendly. It's very poppy. It's very radio friendly. Very typical Swedish. And I'm actually kind of wondering where it would finish in like a semi-final 2, if they didn't win last year. If it was an only televote final or semi-final, I would see it struggling.
Yeah, we'll see. Go ahead.
I think for me it's just a matter of, and I covered this a little bit because I was talking with one of my friends last night, and we were going through. He's only seen from Rotterdam forward, and I was doing like this whole back catalog exploration of former Eurovision, and we watched Benjamin Ingrosso's performance, and I said, listen, like visually, from a visual standpoint, this looks like really cool, right? But then once you get past like the 45-second mark, you're like, okay, it's just the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I kind of get not as much of that from Marcus and Martinez, because I think that they have a way more engaging version of like selling a live music video than Benjamin did. But I think that was Benjamin's like fall, was his performance was just very forgettable. I think their performance isn't really going to, one, be helped by being first in the final, but I also don't think that it's going to be, I don't remember what they got overall. I think what they got, like 8 televote points total or something.
Who knows?
Like it was like a abysmal televote. I think that in the televote they will be top 10. I think in the juries somewhere in the top 15.
You talking about Sweden still?
Yes,
are we-
I mean, that's Sweden.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm surprised to hear that. But okay. No, you can share your thoughts.
I think the televote is going to still love them because again, at the end of the day, one, they're voting at the beginning, which is why we were like, oh, that's so weird that they decided to do this, but they decided it before the draw. So I think that they're still so loved that the televote's going to show up for them. But I think that this jury may or may not respond as positively as the televote. And so I think that they have a higher threshold of point yield from the public than they do perhaps from the from the jury vote. So again, I don't think they're going to get Benjamin Ingrosso'd because that was actually the opposite. He got all of this love from the jury and then single digit from the televote. I think he's probably going to get like maybe a couple of points across the jury and then pull a Kaino is a similar example where it's like, surprise, they weren't the televote winner. I'm not saying that, but surprise, you get 100 something televotes and you went from 23rd place at the jury to 11th overall.
I love having you on the live stream, Connor, because you, especially this year, provide such a different perspective from what I'm thinking. Because I really thought I was that's me in a nice political correct way saying you are wrong. No, it's I'm like
true, I usually am.
I know, just like I thought like the song was written like this is how you write a song for the juries, you know. That's how I felt. So I had like the opposite effect on me, the Swedish song. But it's so good to hear that from you because you know you have a different perspective. So I'm not trying to diss you. It's just that's why I meant that part. Let me just something. I had a question here for like the last 5 minutes. Sweden is performing in the second half of the first semi. Oh, because I keep forgetting they're performing there. I'm like, no, they're directly qualified. What's wrong with you? But no, you're right. Do you think it is possible that the direct qualifiers performing in the first half will perform in the second half in the final? The first response is no, because we don't know. They could draw, even though it's most, producer-driven running order, you still have the possibility of drawing first or second half. So I personally, even if they get all of them producer running order, I don't think they think that far ahead of that one. This is really just like, they're not voting, but we want to give them more exposure and the fair certain exposure as all the other countries, because they felt like it was a disadvantage. So we just put them in the running order where it makes sense. I don't think they have a deeper thinking in terms of, we want to make sure if France is going to go early, we're going to put them later last time. I don't think that's on their mind. Anyone disagrees?
Do we know what percentage is the producer-driven part of the final?
How many were there again?
Have they said that?
So they said like, was it 5 first and 5 second halves? What was it again? Connor, was
and then
it
the
6?
rest?
Yes. So it was like 13. So half of them. Okay, yeah, I remember the exact number. So about half of each semi gets producer-driven, half or something like that. Yeah, 6. So 6 first half, 6 second halves, and the rest producer driven.
Okay.
So it's 13 if you think about it, because it's the 6 producer that with Sweden it's already decided, right? We only have 26 now, so it will be half will be decided by the producers, half of them will be then decided by the draw. But then within the draw, they still have so much power, So it's basically just a big producer deciding situation. So,
yeah, and now that I'm actually like thinking, because I mean this news came out and I was just like, whatever, this is stupid, and I just went on with my life. But now that I'm thinking about the fact that France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and the UK are picking first out of this bowl, in a world where they pick 5 of the 12 assigned halves, that means that the likelihood of any semifinal qualifier getting the producer run slot is like 60%.
Yes. Indeed.
So
that comes
like
the math in.
That is going to be really interesting. Like, again, I don't think that that's actually going to happen just because the odds there are like so low that out of 3 options, everyone picks 2 of the lowest. But be very interesting where the only ones that we know where they're going for sure are the big 5 in Sweden. and then everyone else is going to be a literal gamble of the draw. But that's my problem with this, is that I was like, you know, at the end of the day, why don't you just do either a random draw, if that's what you're looking for, or you just say the producers are just going to decide what the full running order is.
Yeah.
Period. Because
I
at the end of
think
the day,
it's
you're putting others
transitional.
above others.
It's transitional. I think they're going to start with this. See, you still have a shot, and then in a couple of years, like, we're going to do it all. They just want to have as much control over it, because to them, the competition aspect is secondary now, unlike it was before. It's all about the main objective and goal here is to produce a fantastic entertainment show. And as Martin Osterdahl mentioned also in the interviews, the more people watch it entertained, the more sponsorship they're getting, so it is a money thing as well. So there are lots of factors that come into play. And even though most people would agree that it's unfair and it shouldn't happen, only the opinions of certain delegations matter. If Albania goes out there and complains and protests, it's like, cute. It's the really big broadcasters who know that they will not always get shafted. You don't see Germany and UK getting always a bad running order. They will be, Germany has been getting very flattering running orders for the most part. So even go ahead.
Oh yeah, I don't actually see it changing from this format for now. It kind of keeps like the illusion of randomness, as in there's actually a chance of you getting like second half, but still letting them have pretty much all choice in where they go. So I don't actually see it as a gradual way of them getting all control. I see it as their sort of middle way to kind of keep a hold of where people are supposed to go.
Yeah, and I think that honestly, so like I think that this is my biggest issue with it, is that obviously there's no transparency on, yes, you get who is first half, second half, or producer choice, but excuse me, there is then no accountability of what slots are producer pick and what slots are not producer pick. And so what I predict is going to end up happening is that these songs that are picked with the producer run choice, we are going to see be the later half of the first half, because that is, again, where in the recent years, the winner usually comes out of, is that kind of run of song 8 through 13, 14. And then I think that the other half is going to be the songs that come in at the very end, the last, like, songs 19 through 26, which then means that all of the other songs that draw first half, second half are then going to be songs 2 through 7, and are going to be songs, 14 through 18, which is essentially a way of saying that those are the songs that are going to get smushed, because they're not the ones that they're trying to advantage. That doesn't mean so. They could move them, and they could be like, oh, you drew first half, so we'll put you 12 because we acknowledge you're popular. But I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I was a little dramatic with my conspiratorial hat, of course, but only to a certain extent, because even though I may be wrong and they would never consider, like, for instance, putting Ukraine early to avoid a win or something like that, there can always be the perception, and that is my biggest issue here. Greece could be number 2 in the running order, could be the last song of order, and we just decided to put them second because, it's just a very weird thing to me. So that's why I'm like, the conspiracy theories will continue, not just with me, but with a lot of people, especially those who get bad running orders. It's just what it is. All my non-Eurovision fans are all watching this year just to see Ollie staging. A lot of the Brits are talking about it today. Most buzz I have ever seen. I don't think did you mention, Connor, earlier UK in your Big Five? I don't think you'd really mentioned the Big Five UK, right?
I did.
Philip, what did you think about the staging of the UK? Just what you saw.
I don't know. I'm not really sold on it yet, but and I've actually not even. When I look through the photos, I kind of like I looked through the photos and then I didn't really watch the video because I kind of wanted the surprise for the whole 30-second clip. So my opinion is not really of that much because I haven't seen more than a few pictures.
I mean, you did. Now remember, you did talk about it, Connor. Actually, I just had to. I had to think
Yeah, he
back.
did.
And like, what did you say? That yeah, it just a lot of talking happened in between. Yeah. See, I'll have the opposite. Like, I thought it was one of the initial big surprises, excitement. Of course, I'm withholding final judgment. I don't want to have another France 23 repeat where everyone's like, "Oh my God, she's on a big, big pillar. She's going to win," and like, "Oh, he's in a room that moves. He's going to win." So I don't want to go there. So it could look bleh in the end, right? But based on the pictures and the snippet I've seen, I was blown away by it. I always feel bad for the smaller delegations because they cannot afford staging like that, So the big BBC, Germany, NDR, and all of these, they can throw all that money at crazy staging. I mean, it didn't help them in the past, I guess, because the results didn't reflect that. But now I'm looking like, dang, all the big five putting a lot of money into their staging, it seems. So good for them, but it does suck for the smaller ones. That is unfortunate. Are there any stagings this year that would take a long time to set up and would need to be placed after an ad break? If you think through these, Philip and Connor, which one come to mind? Usually what I will say is the ones that are oftentimes the most difficult ones are the ones that have props coming from the ceiling where they have to bring them down. Like I can see actually Austria taking a little bit. You may not think like that stupid pyramid. That may take a time because you have to kind of coordinate with the cubes that are up there and all the cables and the camera work. So that would be the first one that comes to mind for me. Can you think of something else, Connor?
That was going to be the one that I mentioned because we saw in the Austria TikTok that they clip it in basically with cables. And so I fully expect that one will take some time. I think that the UK will probably take some time. Luxembourg will take some time, but with it being last, I'm assuming that it's not going to be an ad break, but that whole like giant platform that they're on.
Germany has a lot of pieces, so I'm thinking, with the fire things, but
Germany,
you can have 10 people bring it on there. Yeah.
It's just a couch and a trash can, really.
Well, there's a whole frame thing, the metal, but they can roll that on, I guess. It probably looks more complicated than it is actually.
It's all on wheels. Trust me. It's in the rehearsal photo and it looks a little crazy.
Yeah.
Luna from Poland, possibly.
That is a good pick. That's a good pick.
Those towers probably take a while to push.
Don't they roll too, though?
They do, but they're massive.
Yeah.
They're heavy, I bet. And then everything else is either using the LED cubes or it's just like standalone stuff. So
and better than
our UK and Austria and
And better than anybody else, Connor, because you've been there, you've seen it. That's why we have the dress rehearsals. There will be long breaks between certain setups. And you may think, oh my God, how are they going to get this done for Eurovision? And most of the time, it's fine. And even if they need 30 seconds longer, then the hosts come in and be like, let's do a little hi audience, and then you get holla. And then, okay, we're done hollering, right back, It's they rehearse that too.
I will say that now that I'm actually like looking at the photos, I remember Italy and Spain are also probably going to take setup time, at least in the grand final, because Nebulosa starts inside the LED cube, the center cube, and so it has to come all the way down and set, which means they have to set everything first, then bring that down. So that will be kind of like what happened with Laureen last year, where they brought her all the way out and set her, and then they set her like LED top frame basically, as well as Italy is said that all of her dancers are supposed to, 4 of 5 of her dancers are supposed to start in the LED cubes as well. And so that is probably going to take some setup time because again, it probably takes about a minute to get those cubes from the ceiling all the way down to the stage floor. And that is not accounting for any other prop setup, stagings, marks and everything like that.
Well, that's also a great example why you should be here early next or all throughout next week during our live streams, the dress rehearsals, because we're gonna give you the scoop. We're gonna give you the insight. Who's gonna take long, who not. I mean, we don't see it because we also get the postcards, but if anything like the postcard and then they're still waiting, we'll find out. So that's really cool. Philip, are you going to Malmö at all?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm in Copenhagen from Monday, and then I'll go in and out of Malmö from there.
Oh, okay. Do you get any tickets?
I have one for the second semifinal.
The live
I need
show?
to see. I need to see if Denmark qualifies.
Oh,
I gotta root for them. I gotta root for them.
So you're gonna bring the confetti and the tissues in case, for both potentials, for crying and for celebrating.
Yep, I think that's the strategy.
Remind me, Philip, that in my Eurovision dump last night with my friend, I was showing him all of the Eurovision but make it Poland memes, where they take all of the versions of the songs but give them all of those stock studio. There's one for Sand.
Oh,
and I need to text it to you because it's just
I want to see that.
Sand.
It's just like it's whatever happens to Denmark, I feel like it's the perfect song to meme. Like it just screams. It just screams because it drives me crazy. I'm like, why do you make this metaphorical sand such a literal translation? But hey, it works. Because people know the word sand and they see sand. I'm like, aha, sand it is. So
it can also kind of, I think it can surprise in the final with having jury help. So if we actually qualify, the jury will help us get quite a good result, actually.
Yeah, so there's several countries that I know if they qualify, they'll be fine, right? Because they have jury appeal. Portugal now looks more and more likely to qualify. A lot of people have doubts, but I always said if Portugal qualifies, it's the left side of the scoreboard. The juries will bring it highly, bring up. And Denmark, I'm not sure I'll go like that high. I mean, we don't know, but it absolutely has a lot of more jury potential. I completely agree with you. The hurdle is, are they going to make it? That's the issue. So we will see. So that's for so tomorrow we'll have the Big Five and Sweden host for the second time, and we'll get the rehearsal clips as soon as they're online. We will be here as well, or I will be in and see who is available and to talk this through. And then Sunday, there will be no rehearsals, but we still have a live stream because that will be prepping for the dress rehearsal. So as I promised you, every day we will have live streams. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow, and then the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after. You get the point. So before you leave, please like this video so the algorithm's not gonna hit us in the stomach, and we'll see you on the other side. Okay, have a good day.
Bye, everyone.